Just give me something to start with. A little rest is fine. I'll give you many hours, a minute at a time. I don't care where you came from, but I want you to know I may have to start over. I'm learning as I go.
When I'm done, I'll be the one to take you down the road. We'll leave behind our troubles, and everyone will know.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, 2026. And as you saw, I made a little different intro video. And I've been debating on how I want to do that, or if I want to keep doing that. I've had the same intro video since I started, I think, where it shows me working on panels, sanding, and progress and stuff like that. But I also, as you may have seen, have recently made a music video, so to speak. And I am really stuck on that, I have to say. I listen to that song, that video, I look at it and I listen to the song probably at least twice a day. And I feel like it strikes a chord with anybody who is rebuilding these classic cars or working on cars. So I took that song, and I should say, I wrote the words to that song. I did not make the music. I wrote the words to it, and then I put it into an AI program, and it created the music. I had to select the style, the instruments, stuff like that, and it did what it did. And I'm telling you, I am thrilled with how that turned out. So I have that on my channel, as you may have seen. If you haven't, I encourage you to go watch the other video. This one I did, I used the Cobra Jet as an example. But in the other video, I used my grandfather's 1931 Model A. And it's really, I've had so many people comment on that, and I feel like it's appropriate, and it fits the whole mindset of putting these cars together. So the line, as it says in the beginning, just give me something to start with. And there was a guy on my Facebook, Jeff Wall, I think is his name, and he had commented something to me. This was like 3 years ago. He commented something about, I jokingly said in the past, working on, I think it was the convertible. I said, all I need is a door hinge, right? I said, just give me a door hinge. I can start with that. And so that played into the idea of just give me something. Just give me something to start with. And then it just kind of, he said, well, you should write a song about that. And I wrote that in literally about 10 minutes is that whole thing that I came up with. And I just held on to it. It's been sitting on my phone. I've had it stored in there, the words, for 3 years now. And I only recently discovered that you could, use AI to make a song. And so I was experimenting. As I've said before, my mom, has passed away, and I was experimenting with another thing that I wrote, and it was about the agony of people losing someone, and it was written from the perspective of the living and the dying. And so you may not realize I like words. I've written a lot of stuff over the years, a lot. I've written other little songs and stuff like that, but this poem that I had written, and I posted it on my Facebook page, and it just really hits home whenever you're losing someone. And so I created that song using the AI, and it's actually on my channel right now. It's not public. It's unlisted. And so anyway, that's where I started coming up with the idea of maybe creating, some songs or something along those lines. And, that's but the car song, the car video with my grandfather and all that really, really hits home. The other song that I created is called "Just a Little More Time," or no, sorry, a little more time, not just a little more time. It's called "A Little More Time," and it's relating to, again, somebody passing and somebody not wanting somebody to pass, kind of a mutual kind of feeling. So, and I've shared it with some other people, and it's it's been well received, but I was unsure whether I should publish it on my channel. I took a risk with this song because it's a song. It's not me restoring a car. It's not me showing you how to do stuff, but the song hits home, and I feel like everybody should probably enjoy that. So I don't know if it'll lead to anything. If you haven't watched it, I encourage you to watch it. If you would share it, get some people out there to see and get the feel of that. And anyway, it's May 4th. I should also point out today is my wife and I's 35th wedding anniversary. She has put up with me for 35 years. So this morning I went and I went up to the next town and I bought a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts because she likes those, and 2 coffees. Brought those home, and so she got her Krispy Kremes and coffee, and I think it's on that bingo card, where it says what anniversary is what whatever. You buy this and get paper and silver and blah blah. And 35, it is Krispy Kreme. Just so you know, so keep it in mind in case you ever decide to go down that path. Currently, it is about 74 degrees here in Georgia. It's been a beautiful day. I mean, just beautiful. And I've started working on the transmission tunnel. This, you see behind me, that's a tunnel that I cut out of another car that is just kind of a guide. And I have pieces here, and I have some up here, and some over there. And I've got the initial form made for the tunnel over the transmission area, towards the back. I still have to work on the forward flow into the firewall. So once I get the first piece established and I'm happy with it, then I'll move on and get the other stuff going. But it's going to take a little time and make stuff come together. Now, on a side note, I think I mentioned this on my Patreon video I did yesterday. I have received more pictures from Sal at TCI, and he has done a mock-up of the headers on another Mustang that has the Coyote engine in it, and they look fantastic. I said, "Can I share these?" He said, "Please don't." So I have them, but I'm not going to post them yet. Out of respect for him and his business. And he said that they were going to go into production this week. And so hopefully he is a man of his word as far as wanting to make things right, which I'm assuming that's what we're doing here. I'm hoping that he sends us a set and I can demonstrate them and make them, show them on the car, tell everybody they fit, and hopefully it'll help him with sales and that sort of thing, because I know he doesn't, nobody wants bad press. They don't want to see, I've run into this with other products. They don't want to see that. They want to see positive. So we'll see what happens. So let's see who's here tonight. We'll get this party started. If you're new to my live stream, and I know many of you are my regulars, and I'm glad you're here, but if somebody new jumps in, I talk about cars. That's my main thing. Sometimes we go off talking about movies and get on different tangents, but cars is the primary thing. And for me, it's cars between 1955 and 1980-ish is my bracket that I like to talk about. My background, as you already know, I grew up, my dad had a junkyard. I'm an aircraft mechanic. I did sheet metal for Delta Airlines, and I've been doing car stuff. Had a body shop for 7 years, and that's going to come into play too, because I didn't post it on here, but on last week, our daughter got in a wreck, mangled the front of her Honda CRV, and so I didn't need any more work, but I have some more work. I'm probably going to be fixing that up too, because I can't. Doesn't make sense to me to hand it off to a body shop when it's something I can fix. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. First one in tonight, Dave Tyson. Good evening, all. Evening, Dave. Glad you're here. Rick Stevenson. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Rick. Glad you showed up early so I can get a drink. Get my coffee going. Richard Vogel. Good evening, Barry. Nice to be back inside your garage. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, Richard. And I am. I'm doing pretty well. I'm getting better as I go. I've talked about this like on the Patreon video. Mom passing is a blessing, because she is no longer suffering. And I said I'm at peace with her passing, and I really am. But there will be times where I miss a phone call, conversation, the eventually, the hugs that we would have shared together. Those things would come into play. So, but overall, I'm feeling better about things, and I'm thankful that I'm getting back into the Mustang stuff. Travis Holtman, good evening, all. One of my top patrons. Terry Keithley, good evening, everyone. And Barry, please hit the thumbs up and like button for Barry. Thank you kindly, Terry and Betty and the cats. Thank you, Terry. Hope all is well with you. Rick Gain, I think we could all use a little cheering up, so let's have some good car talk. Yeah, that's a good plan. Thank you, Rick. Glad you're here. George Crackle, happy Monday, Barry and company. Look forward to some good car talk. Glad you're here, George. And Simone is here. Thank you for being here, Simone. Good evening, all, and Barry. Hope you are all well. Glad you're here, Simone. Hope TC is coming along. Ed Cucciarella, hello, all. And he also says, and may the 4th be with you. Yes. May the 4th. This just happened to be the date that was available when we got married. We had no plan to it. It's 35 years ago. It was 91. You don't think about May Star Wars Day. No. Robert, the Infernal Craftsman. Evening, sir. Evening, all. Hey, Matco Man. Hello, everyone. Just trying to stay focused on the Mustang. Too much other BS. Yeah, that is accurate. And I'm not accurate like there's too much BS in the world. There's too much junk going on around the world. And I don't watch the news. I've said it before. You probably already know that. I don't watch broadcast news because it's all propaganda anyway. Whatever station you listen to, they're going to put their angle on it. Don't even bother. It's not worth my time. Roger, Hindsight 6'7", greetings from next door. Greetings, Raj. And Rusty's Restoration, hello, Barry and all from Southern Indiana. Give Barry a thumbs up. Thank you, Rusty. Dave Conville, happy anniversary. Thank you, sir. Terry Keithley says, we like the new one. Okay, good. Dave Conville, great song, by the way. Very talented. Thank you, Dave. Art Man, checking in from Minnesota. Welcome, Art. I guess that's Minnesota, right? I hope it's Minnesota. Otherwise, it doesn't sound right if I use a Minnesota accent. David, the bowler hat guy. Hello, all. Good evening, Barry. Good evening, sir. Welcome. And we have George. The song is beautiful, very well done. The grandparents actually choked me up. Yeah, and that was, I've said it, I've had two, I think there's actually 4 videos on the Model A on my channel. 2 of which were not even really meant to be there. I had started restoring that car January 1st of 2006. And I did a video on that, and it wasn't meant for YouTube. The video was meant for my family, and it was meant for me as a reference. Because I'd worked on all kinds of stuff as a kid and growing up and all that, but I never took apart a Model A, and that's a different animal. It really is. It's basic, but it's a different design, different configuration. And so when I made those videos, I was doing it with the intent of, hey, how did I take this apart? I need to put it back together. And so I actually had made a DVD. Yeah, a DVD from the tape that I made, and I gave those DVDs to my parents and my siblings, I think. And I had one for myself, and I thought, I should just put this on YouTube. So I did, but I edited it out. So a lot of the stuff, not a lot, some of the stuff out, because there was some, family information and stuff that I didn't really want to put in there. And so, anyway, when I created that song, I was experimenting with ideas, thinking, what can I do to make this a music video, let's say. And so I took those two videos and I just started chopping to get all the little snippets into it, and it worked out fantastic. I'm really, really happy with that. And of course, y'all know I've been editing for years, so that helps as well. Whenever I can process that sort of thing pretty quickly and make it happen. So a lot of people like that song, and I would love, I don't know what it would take for somebody to actually produce it, I don't know, put it on a record or something. I think that would be amazing. But for now, it's on my channel. That's all I need. Dawn's Manufacturing, good afternoon, Barry, and all you nice folks. Glad you're here, Dawn. Terry Keithley, happy anniversary, thank you. Pat Attic, good evening from PA. Good evening, Pat. Terry Keithley says, Wednesday is my birthday. Well, I'll give you an early happy birthday. So, I hope you have a good time with that. Simone says, sorry for your loss, Barry. Sorry for being away so long. I have had a lot going on with my health, but I have finally started work on the Cortina and found plenty of rust and botched repairs. Well, sorry to hear that you've had problems, and also that you found more rust. That seems to be the norm anymore. But I'm glad you're back. Rick Stevenson, as far as the news, the days of Walter Cronkite are gone and are longer. And David Brinkley, right? Cronkite and Brinkley were the two figureheads of news that I can remember, other than like local stations. And, we go to visit our families. We've done this in the past. And they're still watching like the local news stuff. And that's fine. You want to have, local news is great. But it seems like they have the TVs on or whatever, and it's the same, it's like a loop. It's just at 4 o'clock they play this same news loop, and then 5 o'clock they play the same news loop. And I'm like, is there nothing new that has happened? So I don't even bother. I don't watch the news or so-called news at all. David Wright, good evening all from northern Indiana. So Indiana's getting represented well. Jack W., hello Barry. Hope all is well. Thank you, Jack. So we've got probably 3 from New Jersey, I believe. And Steve Reed, hello Barry, and everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Don't forget to give Barry a thumbs up. Yes, by all means, do that. So, as I was saying, I am starting on the transmission tunnel for the fastback, and I'm making a video on it, and I actually have some footage that I'm going to put into that video from a company called, I don't like saying it the way it doesn't make sense to me, but it's Ross. It's not ROSS, it's RAS. And it is a German company, and it is they make industrial machines for making equipment. Let's just put it that way. So if you had a giant caliber, if you had a CAD program and you put into this machine and you wanted to bend up a piece of metal to make a refrigerator, it would do all the bends. It would make all the corners and all that stuff. And so these machines are huge, and this my friend of mine works there as a demonstrator slash salesman for that company. So he said, "Hey, I'll help you out, trying to put together something for the transmission tunnel." And I said, "Okay, why not?" And so he has created some panels for me. And granted, he can't replicate, and I'm talking about this in the video, they can't replicate that. Like, they can't make that tunnel on a machine that's designed to make hard bends. That thing is on a die. So it's, the floor pan was put into a big press, a piece of metal was put in, and that big die just smashed it together and made the shape. That's not what these people do. They actually take and make hard bends on all this stuff. And so I've shot video at that place, and I've shot video of some of this metal going through the machine, and he has made me some variants of those. So I'm going to be able to take, I think, take the pieces and fabricate a tunnel. So it'll be nice. It'll look really nice, and it takes away the hole where the transmission, the shifter was, because you can't use that anyway. I may add some reinforcements back there in that area, simply because we're going to be putting in the low car shifter on top of that. And so we don't want to, got to figure out where that's going to sit. Don't want any play or any problems. So I'll probably reinforce it in one way or another. I may even I've thought about taking the ring out of the plate, the underneath the metal plate underneath the opening for the original shifter. Maybe I could just use that. I don't know, but I'll come up with something, and it'll look pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing so far. I think I already said Steve. Okay, Michael Pagliarini, evening all. Been a few weeks. Glad you're here, Michael. Hope all is well. And Simone, I have not watched TV in at least 6 years. Terrible broadcast here. Yeah, and I believe that. And I don't bother. I tend to watch stuff like documentaries, car shows. I get information from other sources, but as far as I don't care if it's CNN or Fox or none of that stuff. Just go away. I have no interest in anything they have to say. So I wanted to talk about something. I probably should have. I'm gonna download these pictures. Now that I think about it, my son, one of my sons, had sent me a message earlier today, and there's a car for sale on Marketplace, and it is an interesting car. So if you remember, they did back years ago, there was some experimentation with trying to come up with a Mustang station wagon. And so this car is currently on Marketplace, and it is pretty amazing. Now, I know we're all fans of this, the coupe and the fastback and, all these different things, but this car is a custom car that was supposedly designed or built by the guy who designed, if I read correctly, designed the first version, or the first, the prototype of those wagons. So I should have sent these to myself earlier, but I'm going to do it right now so that you all can see these things. But this thing has a 429 in it, and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of engine. And where's it at? Here we go. So the car is for sale, and I think they want $60,000 for this thing. But man, it is a really, really, really sharp car. Let's see if this will come through on my email. No, it's not. Okay, let me get back to the stream. So, Dave Tyson, happy anniversary. Mine is 9/11. Well, you can't forget that one, I would say. There we go. All right, I got him. Let me see if I can get that save. So this car, I mean, I'm going to say I could see somebody spending or buying it for that amount of money because it is so well done. I'm going to I got to get rid of a few other pictures here. And the color's nice. The let me pull that up. Check this out. That thing, and it doesn't have any side glass. Now I don't know what they used for the roof line, you know, because I don't know what they would have. They had to use something, obviously, but and then this is under the hood. Check that out. Look how clean that is. And it says in the ad that it's a 429. And the details, and it says in 65, Ford built 2 prototype Mustang wagons that never went for sale. And it says William Sebo was designer at Ford on the prototype at that time. Fast forward to 1990, he built one for his wife to be used as a delivery vehicle for her business. 429 big block, C6 automatic, dual exhaust, front disc brakes with rear drums, refinished in slate gray metallic, fog lights, hood scoop, 4-seat interior, gray tweed and leather upholstery, gray carpet, updated AM/FM audio, tinted windows, AC. This is a really sharp car overall. I can't post all the pictures, but it's right now it's on Facebook Marketplace in Ball Ground, Georgia. So if anybody's looking for a one-off car for 60 grand, there you go. And there's other pictures on there with the hatch open. There's a big spare tire in the back. There's other interior shots. I think there's a video of it actually running. But man, that's quite the creation. So now you know. Go check it out. Let's see. James, my Mustang Garage. Good evening. Good evening, sir. I see you're getting a little more traction on your videos. I think that's great. I haven't been able. Again, I've looked at some of them briefly, but I haven't been able to get caught up. But I hope that you're getting more views and get more subscribers. Greg Bartle, hope that's right. I want to install hyper-eutectic pistons with Molly rings in my A-Code 289. Engine has only 50,000 miles. Are the cylinders considered plateau honed at this point and ready for the Molly rings? That is a question I can't answer. I understand where you're going with that, but I don't have an answer for that. So Don might know. Don's pretty good with the engine stuff. We'll see if he can come up with something. But I don't have an answer for that. 50,000 miles, and I've never heard the term plateau honed, so that's a new expression for me. So I don't have an answer. So if somebody has an answer for that, please do that. And that's a good question. Rick Ain, getting here a bit late, was having dinner with Mom. The song is excellent. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. So Robert says, I like that color. Yeah, I like it too. David, what a very cool wagon. Yeah, it is. It is a really cool looking car. I mean, You're not going to see another one of those at a car show. Simone says, Barry, can I send you pics of the horror show I'm trying to repair? Sure you can. I think you still have to, you should still have my email, but if not, there it is at the bottom of the screen. No apostrophe, joedaddysgarage@gmail.com. So if you want to send something. And she also says that Mustang is gorgeous. It is. Like, I mean, it is very well done. Very well done. Mike, I don't know. Mike Seff says, yes, enjoyed the song. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really good with, I'm really happy with how that turned out. It's, because, I mean, I'm a guy that likes rock and roll, AC/DC, Metallica. I grew up with that stuff, but I also love 70s music. I have some background with, I like old country, not pop country. Old country from the 60s and 70s, of course, a fan of Elvis, all those things. But this style of music that I use to create it it's under folk. And then I was able to select instruments and give it some tweaking. And what's funny is I had written the main part. It was all just like it was like a poem, so it was all lyrics. And I played that, and my wife heard it. She said, "Oh, you need a chorus in there." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I ended up. It took me like literally 2 minutes to come up with that catch line. And when I'm done, you'll be I'll be the one to take you down the road. We'll leave behind our troubles, and everyone will know. And I put that, splice that in there, and she's like, "There you go. Now that's right." So, let's see. Oh, so Simone has subscribed to My Mustang Garage. Awesome. Very good. And James says, thanks. Rick Gain, your song has a country music sound to it. Maybe you'll be up for a CMA award. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works, but that would be entertaining. But it would be fun to have somebody else perform it. It would be really neat. Hey, Mac Man, you can't build it for that price. That is accurate. Yeah, you couldn't build that car for $60,000. You really couldn't. There's a ton of work on there. Dave Convo, I wonder what the title status is of that wagon. Well, let me see if it says anything, because it's, like I said, it's on the it's on Marketplace, and it doesn't say anything about a title. But it was owned in Arizona since 2008, is what it says. So I don't know if Arizona has to have a title, but it may. Because the title, as long as it doesn't matter what the car is, if it was a coupe and they just put the wagon back end on it, it's still a coupe. Or at least that's what would be considered. So, yep, $60,000. I don't know if it'll do this or not. No, can't do that. We got a song playing on it, so that won't work. James, all my music is only used from YouTube Studio Audio Library. I don't need copyright issues. Yeah, and that's believe it or not, I've had problems with some of the music that I used from YouTube a long time ago. I know that they have their own audience or their own musicians or whatever that create music for them, but stuff that I used a very long time ago, it's come back to haunt me. I've had to go back in and re-edit that stuff, and so at this point, like the song I created, it's mine. It's I have the commercial license for it, but I may do some other stuff with that. I even thought about, because I did the video with the Model A, I thought about making another video with, like I did with the Mustang in the beginning of this one, but making it the full length of the song. So it works well with anything that's relatable. Like, it doesn't have to be an old Model A. It could be any modern car or anything. All right, so let me clean these up. I got a few things to get rid of here. Simone has sent me some pictures. See if I can't get these in place. And of course, she's over in the UK, and the car that she has is a Cortina, and so they're, I'm assuming, pretty popular over there, because we don't have anything like it over here that I know of. And so finding parts for those can be a challenge. So here's the front of her car. She calls it TC. Yeah, that's pretty beat up. And then that's a shot with everything taken off. And of course, these cars are totally different in how they're built than cars we had here, in this time period in the U.S. I think this shared the same engine as like a Pinto, if I remember correctly. Ooh. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good at all. You may have to remake that whole piece if it's not available. Ouch. Yeah. Completely different design. The headlight openings over make me think of like a Capri, because the 70s Capri, I think it had 4 headlights, and that kind of gives me that impression with that look. Yeah, Dawn says people have begun hijacking song ownership, and artists who wrote the song get copyright strikes. Yes, and that's ridiculous. And that's what I've run into, is songs that I've had, because the editing software I've used is Wondershare. And in the package that you get Wondershare, like I have, if you look at some of my other videos, they're probably still on there in some cases. There's a song, it's like a polka, it's just like a fun little song. Somebody made a claim on that, and I had to go back and remove that from every one of my videos. Every single one. And there were some other songs that I had used, and I get these strikes, and it was because I've had Wondershare for years, and I think the time limit is like 10 years on a copyright. And so, got these people sitting in other countries waiting. They're looking for that release date, and they come back in behind it, and then they make that copyright claim, and then they own it because the other company didn't buy it back or whatever. That's at least my understanding of how that works. I have a friend who is a music producer, and he deals with this stuff all the time. It drives him crazy, and I don't blame him at all. The difficulty with like the song that I created, I could create the words, but I'm not a musician, and I can't like hand it to somebody and say, this is what I want it to sound like, and they may not understand my interpretation, and that program I used, it hit right on the mark. It hit it perfect for what I wanted. So, but thank you, Don. Avery Brown. I am installing a 2019 Mustang 4-banger with, I guess, 10-speed auto trans into a 31A 5-window. Interesting. Okay. That'll probably work great. Good for you. I would have to have one that was somebody had already cut up to do that. I couldn't do it to an original car like my grandfather's. Couldn't have done that. Jerry's Garage Money Pit. Good evening from Middle Tennessee to all. Thumbs up. Thank you, Jerry. Glad you're here. Simone, parts are available but can be very expensive. I like to fabricate if needed. Well, that's a good choice if you can do it. And Michael says that is going to put your fabrication skills to the test. Yeah. And Rick says YouTube really needs to crack down on people stealing copyrights and not worrying about a few seconds of music slipping into a video. And that's what's really frustrating with the whole system. Because I've gotten strikes that say, because of this song, that songwriter or that company gets the revenue for the video. I'm like, well, that's not even fair. And then I think they changed it to where it was a shared revenue. So the reality is, if you had 10 seconds of a song and you played an hour-long video and it played 25 ads, just as an example, whatever revenue was generated was split in half. And so that 10 seconds of that song gets them half of the revenue. And I understand, the legal issue of this is somebody's property. They created this. I get it. But that's why I just don't even bother. I don't use any music anymore, hardly at all. Like if I'm doing something now and I'm doing a time lapse, I'll just talk over it. I'll get to put up with me talking and trying to explain what I'm doing. But by doing that, I don't have to do a song thing. Now I could use this app thing that I found to create stuff, but even at that, I have to pay for the program yearly for that to count. So anyway, I just no longer use any other music. Rick says, still trying to sell my father's '05 Mustang 6-cylinder. It really needs to go. I don't want to have to take a huge financial hit, though. Yeah. I hope you can find a buyer for that. And I think I don't think I have those. I'm sure somebody is looking for one of those. Kevin Barth, Gig'em Garage, good evening, Barry. Here hanging out in Dallas for my second round of chemo. Good prognosis, but not fun. Yeah. No, not fun. There's nothing fun about that at all. 427 Mustang, a plateau hone is basically a refined version of your normal bore and hone. It's finished off with a higher grit surface to remove peaks off the hone surface. Interesting. I haven't done any, I have no machinist background like that. So I've never heard of that, but it sounds interesting. And he says, typically you can achieve it with a ball hone if you pay attention, I guess, to the 45-degree pattern. When was the block honed and where? So that would be a question to the I forget who was asking. And Rick, I don't know if I'll put that up there. I think it's a link to the pictures of your car, I believe. So I'll leave that up there if people can. I don't know if they can copy that off of the screen or not. But I'll leave it up there for a minute. So go back to that question. Says you can achieve it with a ball hone if you pay attention to the 45-degree pattern. So I don't know if the other guy's watching still. They asked the question originally. I don't know where it is now. Yeah, so I'll put that up there. I don't know if that'll work either, but because it doesn't usually, there's like no way to attach that into the YouTube, whatever's being put out. So those are probably links, I would assume, to Rick's car that's for sale. Okay. So it is, as I said, May 4th, as we all know. And there's going to be some upcoming events for me in June. As you already know, we dealt with my mom passing away, and of course there's all kinds of family stuff going on now, trying to take care of paperwork and bills and insurance and all these sorts of things. And so in June we're going back for a visit, and then we're going to have a celebration of life for my mom, and we're going to spend time with family members we probably haven't seen in maybe in some cases decades. And so we're going to be up there for another week doing all that stuff. And it's going to be everybody. Me, my wife, our kids, our grandkids, fiancés, everybody's going to be up there. So it's going to be a really big thing, and we're looking forward to doing that, spending time with all of them. Let me go back up here. James says, it's a highlight as a clickable link. Cool, first time seeing clickable link in live stream. Okay. That's nothing I've tried before. So good. And Sam Mulvihill. Biggest tips for aligning panels. Also, do you ever drill 1/8-inch holes to make reassembly easier? You had sent me a message on Facebook, and I know I'm trying to. I'll probably try to contact you. I don't know what the time would be good for that. So I've done videos on. But I'm glad you're here, Sam. By the way, I've done videos on aligning panels. I've done a lot of videos on aligning panels on the 68 on Jade. I did videos on all the other Mustangs. I've done videos on all that stuff. And so you're asking, do you drill 1/8-inch holes to make reassembly easier? So if what I'm going to assume is, as an example, drilling 1/8-inch holes through like the hinges. I have done that. And it's worked to a point. The reason for that is, even with an 1/8-inch drill bit going through a hinge, there's still potential. It's hard to keep everything tight. And if you get it lined up just right where the drill bit slides in and out, you're probably good. But I've done that before, and I've been okay with it. But as far as aligning the panels, on a typical car, I think you're working on a Cougar, if I remember, you start with the door. Get your reveals right, get those in the right spot, test fit the fender, see where you're at in the front. If you need to adjust a little bit here and there to get the door up or a little bit lower, whatever, you do that. And then it's a game of chess. You make this move, it affects that move. You do that move and it affects this move. It's a constant battle. But I have done the 1/8-inch drill bit, and I've just gotten used to not doing that. Because when I do stuff, I'm doing it all by myself anyway. And I will use stuff like, I might stack up paint sticks on the rocker panel so that the door sits on top of these paint sticks. Or I might even put towels, fold up a towel and put it in the door opening so that the door sits on top of that towel and get it started, and then start doing my adjustments. The thing is, I've been doing this for years. And so I can look at something and figure out real quick I need to move this way a hair and that way a hair, and I'm done. So, but that's probably the biggest things is starting with the door in the car and then the fender and working your way back and forth. It just takes time. Dawn says a quick pass with the fine stone hone will tell you how much wear there is. Will need to be deglazed with new rings. My opinion, anyway. Thank you, Dawn. Hey, Matco Man, you can click on the line in the chats. Okay, so for me, it doesn't do anything for me. Like I'm here, I can't click on anything while I'm doing this. Like I would have to go to YouTube and pull up the video to make it happen. But that's cool. That's why only certain people have access to that, to put those kind of links in. So I'm trusting Rick in that case. Simone, good night, Barry and all. I need some sleep. Almost 1 a.m. Good night, Simone. Hope you get everything starts getting better overall. Rick says, took O2 S10 for oil change. It was only 3 quarts low on oil. Seller didn't disclose everything wrong with the truck. Yeah, they don't. I hate to, I kind of hate to say it. For me, when I'm selling something, I give too much information. I do. So I could be selling a car that has a problem, and I can't sit here and go, it's all good. I have to say, nope, the check engine light will come on at 100 miles because it does that, and it turns off every 200 miles, whatever. But in most cases, when I'm doing a car or trying to sell a car, I've already gone through it nose to tail. Put new brakes on, double checked everything. But I couldn't sit there and go, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Take it. Can't do that. Sam says, no worries. Figured I'd ask on here so everyone else can learn too. He says, thanks. You're welcome, Sam. Yeah, like I said, if you look at the Jade videos, I have one specific talking about lining the door. On the Brooklyn Pony, I know I've had problems with the front fender. And so I had to take it apart. I had unweld it to make it fit the car and then weld it back together. So a lot of times you're fighting with stuff that isn't even your problem. Like an aftermarket fender or an aftermarket door that's not shaped right. So you start putting something together and it wouldn't fit right to begin with. Like you have to modify it or beat it with a hammer to make it do what you want. So there's a lot of struggle that goes on when you're trying to fit these panels together. Okay, I think we're getting close to the end of the show tonight. As I said before, if you would, go back and watch that video with the that I put up for the Model A, and share it, let people see it. I can't get enough of it. I love the way it turned out, the music, the video. It all worked out really good, and my family likes it, and a lot of people like it. So check it out. But I think my voice is getting rough, and it's time for me to go in the house and get something to eat. As I said, I'm working on the tunnel on the Mustang, and that'll be coming up. I'll have to I'm going to plan to have that released Friday or Saturday. We'll see how it goes. But that's going to be it for tonight. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here and being part of this. And enjoy the song. Until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.
Just give me something to start with. A little rest is fine. I'll give you many hours, a minute at a time. I don't care where you came from, but I want you to know I may have to start over. I'm learning as I go.
When I'm done, everyone will